It's been so long since I've worn makeup, like makeup, and I feel crazy. I feel a little bit crazy. But hey y'all, this video is sponsored by Bite. I was talking about Bite a couple videos ago and I said that I didn't have my eyeliners yet and I would update you guys when I got my eyeliners. And they're here. So I wanted to show you the box and I wanted to show you what comes with it because you actually get a lot. So when you open the box, there's going to be 2 more boxes on the inside of the box. This box is full of my eyeliners and I'm super excited. I already started week 1 obviously and I'm about to start on week 2 and I got a little too ahead of myself and I already opened up week 14 for myself just so I could see what the eyeliners look like because I'm really excited for my treatment plan. And when I saw what my 14-week eyeliners looked like, I got so happy because my teeth are going to be so beautiful. They're going to be so straight and I'm so excited. So my treatment plan is only 14 weeks. Obviously it varies per person, but I'm already excited to see my end results. I already want it to be the 14 weeks because I want my smile to look like my 14-week aligners. This next box is accessories. So it comes with what they call the Hyper Bite. So you use this every single day for 5 minutes and it's supposed to speed up the treatment. It's actually super easy. I just sit down and watch streams while I'm using the Hyper Bite. And if it's gonna speed it up, I'm here for it. And then they also give you a whitening treatment, which I haven't used yet. I think I'm gonna use it when I get further into my treatment when my teeth are like a little bit more straight, but they give you a whitener. Like, how cool is that? But I just wanted to show you my box and everything that comes with it. I'm very excited. I'm actually really excited to even start week 2. So far the aligners haven't been painful, like, at all. My week 1 aligners were not painful. I've been doing a really good job of wearing them. I was a little nervous and John was like, you're never gonna wear them, but I've been wearing them. I will have my code down below if you guys want to use it. It actually gives you a discount, which I didn't know that in my last video, but it does give you a discount. So if you do want to try out Bite, you can use that. But now let's get into the video because I am back and today we're reading more about haunted asylums and haunted hospitals. Oh, I did want to ramble about one more thing. I'm sorry, it's going to be a rambly start to the video because of that and then this. So if you want to skip, I'll put a time right here. I got my COVID vaccine and I'm a little nervous because I got Johnson & Johnson, which got recalled. So I might die. I'm just kidding. I'm really not that nervous. If you guys didn't know, there have been 6 cases out of like the 6 million Johnson & Johnson vaccines like given out. There have been 6 cases of people getting blood clots after getting the vaccine. So they're recalling it so they can see if it's related to the vaccine in any way, shape, or form. And I don't know exactly everything, but I'm really not that nervous about it. It's only 6 in 6 million people. Birth control has more of a chance to give you a blood clot, so I'm really not that nervous. And they don't give a fuck about birth control. Just saying. But I did get vaccinated. It took me forever to find an appointment to get vaccinated. Let me just say that first. I had to check every single day, multiple times a day to find an open slot, and I finally found one, so I got it on Monday of this week. I made John come with me because I was very nervous because I do not like shots at all. So I made John come with me. Also, by the way, my cats are in here because I could not get them out for the life of me, so they might be annoying. I'm sorry. But I got the shot Monday. It really didn't hurt that bad. I feel like for me, shots never hurt that bad, but it's like the thought of getting a shot always like it just absolutely no. But it wasn't that bad, but my arm is really sore. It's been a couple of days and my arm is still really sore. I felt pretty sick on Tuesday. That's why I only have 2 videos this week. I was planning on uploading 3 this week, but I felt really sick on Tuesday and that's when I would have had to film Wednesday's video, so I wasn't able to film. I just felt like really achy. I had a headache. My body just hurt really. Okay, Rumble's bullying Nar and now Nar's growling. It really wasn't that bad though. Like, my sickness really wasn't that bad. And I've heard that a lot of people who got Johnson & Johnson didn't have that bad of side effects, so I wasn't really expecting bad side effects. But now my arm just really hurts. Like, still, I don't know why it still hurts. But now we're gonna get into the video and I'm gonna kick my cats out. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I had to wrestle Rumble to get him out of my room, but he's gone. Nar is still in here because Rumble was bullying Nar, so I had to keep them separated, but we're back. And I'm gonna scooch you back so I can lean against my bed. So this first place we're gonna read about is the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum. The town of Weston, West Virginia began construction on an insane asylum in 1858. The project, powered by prison labor, was an unprecedented undertaking and took a long time. Construction had to halt for the Civil War and resumed again in 1862. The hospital was built on 666 acres of land, as it was common knowledge at the time that pollutants of the city were a main cause of insanity. Fresh air and open space would be the most advanced treatment offered to the mentally ill. The goal for the Allegheny Lunatic Asylum was self-sufficiency, complete with a farm, dairy, waterworks, and cemetery. The second largest hand-cut stone building in the world, the hospital opened its doors officially in 1864. Per necessity, a separate section for African Americans was completed in 1873. Despite such expansive grounds, Allegheny was designed to only hold 250 people, but that soon changed. By 1880, it held 717 patients. By 1938, it was up to 1,661 patients. There were more than 1,800 patients in 1949, and patient population peaked at 2,400 in 1950. According to a 1938 report by medical organizations, the hospital was home to epileptics, alcoholics, drug addicts, and mental defectives. Maybe they forgot to mention, or maybe it was in later years, that the hospital also housed children with Down syndrome and diabetes, disabled veterans with nowhere else to go, people with syphilis before the advent of penicillin, and one couple with AIDS who had their own personal apartment. As it turns out, fresh air and distance from the hustle and bustle of the cities were likely the kindest treatment offered at the hospital. Frontal lobotomies and electric shock therapy was commonly provided for the most difficult patients, helping them to calm down or at least instilling enough fear in them that they would completely. Like many giant institutions at the time, overcrowding started to take its toll very early on. The Charleston Gazette wrote a series of exposés about the hospital in 1949 describing poor sanitation and the lack of supplies, furniture, lighting, and heating. By the 70s and 80s, things managed to get even worse. Despite a relative decrease in patient population, reports of patients killing other patients passed without investigation, and female nurses and staff were often assaulted. One nurse went missing, only to be found dead at the bottom of an unused staircase nearly 2 months later. Doctors and staff started pulling out all the stops after that. Patients who could not be controlled were now locked in cages. It's pretty clear that no one will ever know the full extent of patient mistreatment during Trans-Allegheny's long history. Records from the hospital are amazingly incomplete. Many patients who checked in never seem to check out. In the hospital's private cemetery, headstones are missing. Others are just numbered bricks, leaving no clue about their occupants. Hundreds are said to have died in the hospital, though with such shoddy record-keeping, some think there could have been thousands. According to Andrea Lamb, a tour guide at the now derelict facility, families were often discouraged from contacting their loved ones who were committed to the hospital. They were told, if they ever got a letter from them, to never even open it. Can I help you? What are you doing? Years of newspaper reports tell of Weston residents complaining about hearing patients screaming from outside the 666-acre premises. City officials finally decided it was time to build a new psychiatric facility in the late 80s and made plans to turn Trans-Allegheny into a small prison. In the end, the hospital closed in 1994 because of concerns about patient treatment, never to open again. Unfortunately, many of the patients who had spent most of their lives at Trans-Allegheny were moved to other facilities, only to suffer worse mental illness or to die mysteriously shortly after. Despite being made a National Historic Landmark while still in operation, attempts to repurpose the building as a Civil War museum were short-lived because of the fire code violations. The mental asylum sat more or less empty for 10 years, until the state auctioned it off to Joe Jordan, a private entrepreneur, in 2007. After millions of dollars of renovations and asbestos removal, Jordan and his family repurposed the building for concerts, events, and haunted hospital tours. Today they offer paranormal tours 6 days a week, an increasingly popular attraction since the building was featured on several ghost hunting shows. While many owners of haunted buildings repurpose those haunted houses have to make some effort to promote the idea that the building is haunted, Trans-Allegheny's dark history does it all by itself. Rebecca Jordan Gleason, the building manager, said, "I don't want to believe in ghosts or the supernatural, but I've seen things here that are hard to explain any other way." Most visitors never fail to experience some strange occurrence they can't explain. Battery drainage, cold spots, voices, strange figures on heat-seeking cameras, and many report hearing the sound of gurneys being pushed down the long hallways and screams coming from the electroshock area. Others insist they saw full-body apparitions of patients. Some ghosts still living in the hospital appear lighthearted, giggling and laughing throughout the building. Others offer clear and ominous warnings to get out. Visitors to the hospital sometimes feel ill after departing, overcome with shakes or a lightheaded feeling. The majority of ghost sightings throughout the hospital appear to be unique, which isn't surprising considering the vast number of people who lived, suffered, and died at Trans-Allegheny. There is, however, one boy in particular who is seen over and over again, standing immobile in the corner of one room. Grant Wilson of the Atlantic Paranormal Society claimed to see this boy as well, but got more of a show than others. He said the apparition put his hands over his head and looked like he was being sucked out of the room. One other ghost, affectionately named Jacob, looks like a soldier and is often seen wandering around the Civil War wing. While freaky things regularly occur throughout the hospital, everyone agrees that the 4th floor is the most haunted. Strange sounds, banging, voices, and whispered conversations can be heard on the usually empty floor. Ghosts up there like to keep visitors on their toes. Once, Gleason witnessed 40 open doors on the 4th floor hallway slam at once. One would be pretty scary, Gleason said. 40 at once was terrifying. I literally cannot imagine. Okay, in this next place, I'm going to pronounce this so wrong because it's German, but it's Beelitz-Heilstatten. I think. Nar, will you stop cleaning yourself? I'm filming a video. Why do you have to be in camera to do that? Sorry, you're gonna have to ignore him. Many Germans refer to the crumbling remains of Beelitz-Heilstatten as Berlin's biggest secret, hiding in plain sight. Built in 1898 in southwest Berlin near Potsdam, the expansive hospital complex has a long history, standing witness to the fighting and sorrow of both world wars. In the beginning, it was a simple sanatorium, built to house struggling tuberculosis patients as they fought their losing battle with a modest 600 beds. Expansion projects allowed Beelitz-Heilstatten to grow and care for the general sick of Berlin. That was until August 3, 1914, when all the patients were evicted and the hospital was taken over by the Red Cross. World War I was breaking out, and the German Imperial Army needed every bed. The times were arduous, and casualties were high. The hospital treated 12,586 patients during the war. Among them was a young man named Adolf Hitler. Then, an unknown army corporal, Hitler came to Beelitz-Heilstatten in October 1916. He spent 2 months in the hospital recovering from a leg wound sustained during British shelling at the Battle of Somme. No one knew he would walk out of the complex going on to do bigger and more terrible things. In 1920, the hospital was given a brief opportunity to go back to fighting the good fight, treating the general public. But soon enough, it was time for World War II, and again the hospital was commandeered for military use. That made it a target, as several bomb attacks on the hospital were testament to. With much relief, the Nazis were defeated in 1945, and Germany was divided in two. Though that meant no reprieve for Beelitz-Heilstatten, the USSR took control of the complex and turned it into a Soviet military hospital. As an important and useful structure amid the violence and uncertainties of 2 global wars, it's no surprise that Hitler wasn't the only infamous leader to grace Beelitz-Heilstatten with his presence. On October 3, 1990, Germany was reunified as one country. 2 months later, Erich Honecker, the disposed leader of the German Democratic Republic, was admitted to Beelitz-Heilstatten with liver cancer. Despite the seriousness of his illness, he only stayed for 3 months, since Germany had plans to hold him responsible for the deaths of 192 East German citizens who tried to flee the country over the Berlin Wall. Honecker ended up fleeing himself towards Moscow and away from the wrath of justice. Even as Soviet control of the country crumbled, the government wasn't in a hurry to pack up and move from Beelitz-Heilstatten. As the USSR maintained a tense grip on the hospital, a serial killer named the Beast of Beelitz, so named because most of his murders happened right by the hospital, was on the loose. Between 1989 and 1991, the Beast of Beelitz, also known as Wolfgang Schmidt, murdered 5 women and 1 baby and attacked several others. As a former police employee, he knew how to cover his steps and stump the local police. 2 of his victims were the wife and son of a doctor working at Beelitz. He killed the 3-month-old baby boy by smashing his body into a tree stump. Then he gagged the mother with her bra, strangling her. After, he had sex with the body. Schmidt gained another nickname, Rosa Rise, German for pink giant. He was a very tall man and had a fetish for pink women's underwear, sometimes leaving a pair at the crime scene. He sexually assaulted almost all of his victims. Finally, Schmidt was apprehended, not by the incompetent police, but by a couple of joggers who found him masturbating in a forest wearing women's clothing. If rejection by the country they once ruled wasn't enough to encourage the Soviets to abandon Beelitz-Heilstatten, maybe the threat of a local serial killer was. They finally abandoned the hospital in 1995, ending for good the hospital's century of intermittent military acquisition. After that, attempts to completely privatize the complex were unsuccessful, and today only small parts of the 60-building hospital complex is used, serving as a neurological rehab center and center for Parkinson's care and research. All the rest, including the surgery, psychiatric ward, and rifle range, were abandoned completely in 2000. Since then, most of the abandoned complex has begun to decay, becoming an eerie testament to a hospital that saw so much difficult history. The buildings are now covered in overgrowth, filled with rusty beds, and vacant corridors smattered with graffiti. Some attempts have been made to restore the many buildings, but funds are seriously lacking. As such a central piece of German history, the hospital is bound to attract people interested in taking a peek into the past. It's just as likely to attract mischief makers and the homeless. What's more surprising is the role it played as the scene of a sex game turned horribly wrong. In 2008, a young model named Anja met with fetish photographer Michael K. at Beelitz-Heilstatten for some sadomasochistic, I don't know how to say that, role-playing. Michael then lured her into an abandoned apartment on the edge of the complex, beat her on the head with a frying pan, strangled her to death, and had sex with her body. Another horrific murder-rape reminiscent of the Beast of Beelitz. According to Anja's agent, the level of realism in this roleplay was not what her client had in mind. The apartment where she was brutally murdered was the former gatehouse of the complex and remains available for rent today. Today, the expansive grounds and numerous buildings at Beelitz-Heilstatten are surprisingly unsecured. Sure, things are locked up, but it's easy to find a way in to take eerie photos or get into some mischief. With the hospital's extensive and dark history, it has become a mecca for neo-Nazis and Satan worshippers, along with amateur ghost hunters, whose catalog of videos of ghostly encounters are too realistic to deny, and they grow year by year. Between Beelitz-Heilstatten's role caring for terminally ill TB patients, its use in 2 world wars, including the treatment of 2 brutal dictators, and involvement in the exploits of two demented modern murderers, spiritual unrest on the grounds is a given. Trespassers continue to loot, stirring up dust and old history, which only further disturbs the paranormal entities that reside restlessly there. But as a Grade 2 historic building, Beelitz-Heilstatten isn't going anywhere, other than slowly rotting away, visual reminder of a dark and evil past. That is all I'm going to read for now. I hope you guys enjoyed. That second one was like a lot. I wasn't expecting it to be so much. I don't read these before I read them on camera because I like to, I don't know, I like reading them with you guys for the first time. I just feel like it wouldn't be the same if I read them prior and then read them on camera. I don't know, I feel like it's never the same. I don't know why. And so that second one was a lot, so I'm going to put a trigger warning. I didn't vocally put a trigger warning, but I'm going to put like a trigger warning for that one because that's good. Nar was cleaning himself half the video. So annoying. But yeah, that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think I already said that, but I love y'all. I will see you in the next one. Bye! Also, look what I'm wearing. How cute. I haven't worn this in so long, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna wear my merch today. Also, I got magnetic eyelashes, and they're kind of weird. Like, I don't really know how I feel about them. Like, they're on. Like, these bitches are not coming off, but like, they're kind of irritating my eyes. Like, my eye, I wore them yesterday too, and I have a lot of irritation on this eye, and I can't tell if it's from like scrubbing the eyeliner off because it's so hard to get off, or if it's from the eyeliner itself because it's like magnetic eyeliner. I can't tell, but they're kind of irritating, but they're like cool. Like I don't have to glue on my eyelashes. They're so easy. I got them on Amazon. I'll actually link them down below because they were pretty cheap. I got like 10 pairs of eyelashes plus 2 eyeliners and an applicator for like 20 bucks. And Glamnetic is like 30 just for the eyelashes. It doesn't even include the eyeliner. Like what the fuck? I'll link them down below. I'll hook y'all up, even though they're kind of irritating my eyes, just a warning. But they're really cool. I really like them. I mean, they're very easy. But okay, I'm gonna go. Sorry, I don't know why I keep rambling in this video. This is a very rambly video. Okay, whatever. See ya.